let's get on to the albums now, and right, I think we've decided to just do them in chronological order. So in that case, we're going to start with Devastation by Pumarosa, was actually from last year. I'll let you kind of introduce this as you put it forward.
Yeah. So as Snitch said, it was released last year, just towards the end of last year. It was released on the 15th of November 2019. It's 11 songs, or there's 11 songs on it, and it's approximately 51 minutes and 36 seconds long, so just under an hour long. It's the band's second studio album. Their debut album, The Witch, was released in 2017. I initially got into the band kinda after watching them perform Priestess, which was one of their first singles off the aforementioned The Witch album, on the Jules Holland show. It's quite an interesting performance from what I can remember, but more after my kind of ex-partner kind of looked into them a bit more and showed me some more of their stuff. I would say that this second album is very different from The Witch. However, if you look back into their back catalogue, in particular the singles that they've released over the years, I think they've always had a foot in this kind of dance, trancey sound, which I think is more prevalent in this album than it was in the first album, The Witch. For example, that song that I just mentioned, Priestess, has numerous remixes over the years.
Okay.
The actual studio version of the single was released in 2015. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. When you listen to the opening tracks, you get the feeling that it's almost not of this time, which is something I literally just said to you just before we started recording again there. Because I kind of feel as if there is this kind of heavy 90s vibe off it.
There's certainly some elements of that I've picked up on. There's a song towards the end of the album called Into the Woods.
Yeah.
And there's even elements of Nine Inch Nails. That song's a little bit different maybe from the rest because it brings in a sort of grinding, buzzing guitar, which is unusual for the rest of the album. But
Yeah.
there's that sort of Nine Inch Nails sounding guitar, and the vocal delivery is a bit like, if you're familiar with Portishead.
Yeah, okay.
That was the kind of vibe I was getting from that song in particular. Both big bands of the 90s.
Yeah, yeah. As with quite a lot of the albums, well, the music that we're discussing this time round, there's a lot of kind of depth and texture, as you said. You know, there's quite a lot of electronic drum beats, kind of synth loops. There's a bit of clarinet chucked in there at some points as well, which was kind of more prevalent in the previous album, in particular that song, The Priestess. A lot of fuzz and reverb, as you said as well. And yeah, something that I kind of noted about the kind of lead vocalist, Isabel Munoz Newsom's vocals is they kind of just seem to give it a wee bit of direction and kind of glide seamlessly over the top of it all. Really quite enjoyed.
Her vocals are really strong. A big part of why I enjoy this album, I think, is her vocals. Definitely. Yeah. The first two tracks on the album, Fall Apart and I See You, is it I See You?
Yeah.
They're both just outstanding tracks, and that's how you want your album to start, with two really great songs. And I love the opening to Fall Apart, just the way that the album starts is with this like clattering drum beat, and it's almost like a drum and bass kind of song, and it just intertwines with this weird, mysterious sort of electronic drone that for some reason just reminded me of like some of the music used in The Mighty Bush. So it's that kind of weird, mysterious, and I don't really get that from any of the other tracks. It was just that specific sort of electronic in the start of that track, which I just thought was really cool. And the verse is kind of just stripped back to that drum beat, and then Isabel Munoz Newsom's vocals, and then it's got a really soaring and haunting chorus. Yeah, really cool. I See You has got this really cool chirping like electronic melody. It sounds a little bit like an organ maybe, but it's just really cool, sort of mesmerising melody for the vocals to kind of shimmer over the top of. And I just love that build that electronic has into the chorus, and everything just kind of merges together. The drums and the bass and the electronics and the vocals in that chorus. It's just a fantastic song, really. Overall, it's a pretty good album.
How would you describe that kind of sound? Because to me, there is a kind of dancey element to it, but I don't know the difference between house, trance, dance.
Neither do I really. All kind of
utility room.
I'm not. None of those sort of genres are ones that I'm heavily into.
Yeah.
I dip into lots of different kinds of music, but I'm not sort of a hardcore fanatic in any of them. So sometimes I'm like, well, I don't really know what this is, but I like it, kind of thing. But I found an interesting. I didn't read the article,
right?
But I found an article in the Guardian by somebody called Carolyn Sullivan, and it was just the first line that piqued my interest was describing the band as the missing link between Joy Division and Pendulum. And I thought that was a really interesting description because some of the vocals are quite sort of moody in that sort of Joy Division way, and then it's juxtaposed with that that brass kind of dance ethic of Pendulum. So I found that to be a really kind of apt description. And sorry, Caroline, I didn't bother to read the rest of your article, but you gave me a good description of this band.
To go back to. I mean, because Heaven, for example, which I think was one of the singles from that album. I mean, I could imagine raving along to that in a nightclub. Yeah,
and I think you could with a lot of the songs. Some of the songs, are a bit more subdued than others, but there's always a sort of catchy hook to kind of latch onto and dance away to, I suppose.
I think the only song that doesn't let this album down, but probably the least good song in the album would be Factory, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I can't quite remember
what track number it is. Yeah, it's a really slow burn and not that much happens in it, really. So yeah, I probably agree with you on that. But yeah, it's a pretty strong album. It's a really cool sort of haunting vocal on the song I Can Change, and it just goes I can change, I can change, I can change. But it's like there's so many moments like that. They're just really catchy, and you're just like this is a great band, and this is a great album. So I hadn't heard anything about Pumarosa until you mentioned.
You should
mention them to me, and I haven't gone back to any of their other stuff. But I really liked this.
Yeah, like I said, it's very different from the first album, but yeah, I really enjoyed it as well. I would say the first album has a bit of a kind of psychedelic element to it. I've seen them live as well at King Tut's. It must not have been too long after the release of the first album. And again, they're just another band that's an absolute joy to watch.
Yeah, it's funny you say what you were saying about
the kind of psychedelic.
Yeah, it's a psychedelic kind of element. Because on the second last track, Lost in Her, my only note that I took was that it's an 8-minute hippie track. And it's just that's the only way I can think to describe it.
So it's just kind of psychedelic then.
8 minutes of just weird hippiness. Yeah, good album, I think.
Yeah. What would you rate it? Let's see this rating system in full flow.
I'll have to find it first. Give me a second. There we go. Okay, so I was gonna give it an 8, but which is just very good. But I think I have to give it a 9, which is exceptional because it kind of is.
I've given it an 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
To be honest. Yeah, I mean I wouldn't disagree with you. However, I'm trying to think back on the albums that we've given 9 out of 10 to previously and whether they kind of compare.
I would happily give this album an 8, and I think
a strong 8, shaky 9.
Yeah, I think some of the best, like the album opens so well. There's just some really good tracks in it, so maybe a 9 is pushing it a little bit, but it's definitely an album that, well, an 8 out of 10 is a must listen. So
yeah,
it's absolutely that.
Definitely. I'd agree with that. Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Cool. Okay.